Assalamu alaikum. Today is Friday, 18th of July 2025. And inshallah, I just want to simply remind us of some of the very things that I learned today in the khutbah. It's quite very simple. And number one is the Imam tried to explain to us on the reasons why we need to appreciate some of the very things that we have, that we never prayed for, we never wished for, and we never really worked hard to get. And what are those things? He mentioned some of them to be our sight, our ability to be able to see, our ability to be able to walk, our ability to be able to talk and communicate, the health that we have. He stressed on the fact that there are people right now who wish to have some of these things that we have. Perhaps the leg that you are working with. Some wish to have the eyes that you have, and he says even if you have one eye, think about those who doesn't even have any. Or if you have one leg, think about those who doesn't even have any. That we have to appreciate this. Then he also explained to us again on the reasons why we need to appreciate our parents, particularly our mothers. And he stressed on the fact that Allah has instructed us specifically in the Quran, in many verses, that we should respect our parents and love them and cherish them. That whatever it is that you do, you just might never be able to pay them for the things that they did for you, including your father and your mother. He also stressed that when Allah has given you the financial strength, you should try as much as possible to support them. And even if you don't have money, you can as well support them and also respect those that they respect. Also try to visit their fathers as well. That is your grandfather and your grandmother. And he also stressed that you should as well always try to be gentle and nice with them. Then he spoke about the right of neighbors as well. He spoke about right of neighbors, how you should try to support them, your closest neighbors and those that are far away from you. I mean, the first and the second to third and the fourth and the fifth house that are close to you, the kind of rights that they have on you, over you as well. You should try to understand this and try to make sure that when they're sick or when they come for you for any need or support, you should be there for them as well. This is very important. And praying for the Muslim community. He ended up the khutbah by narrating a story to us, a story that he experienced by himself. And what exactly is the story and what are the lessons that we can be able to learn? It's actually a very long story, but then I will try as much as possible to see how I can summarize that. So he said, there was a time he was about traveling to Umrah. He traveled through the Kaduna airport. So luckily for him, he met a lot of politicians and some businessmen from Kaduna State. And they all sat together, they gisted. One of them invited him. And so he came, he was among them. So like they were respecting him. They had a lot of conversation. They spoke about so many things. They did appreciate him. And when he was about entering the plane, they gave him the best seats. And they were gisting with him until they arrived at Jeddah. So once they arrived, so some of these big men were bringing their cars were arriving, that would pick them to their hotels, and that was when the story changed. None of them wants to meet him again because I was just telling him that no, the car is already filled up, the place we are going, do you have a place to stay? He said, according to what he said he doesn't have, but nobody was willing to help. So he decided to sit, so he sat in one place, in just one corner. And then he was just about to do his Zuhur prayer. That was when someone came and joined him. According to him, he said he's Bakanu, which means he's actually from Kano. So the person told him that, look at my bag, please. Can you help me hold this bag? Let me also perform ablution so I can join in the prayer. And the man said, all right, that's fine. So they both sat together. And after their prayer, they started gisting. So that was when, while they were gisting, someone came. According to him, he said the person is one of the biggest person, or he's one of the top leaders in Nigeria as at that time. So he's told the Bakano, that is his guest, that you should go and call that man for me. But unfortunately, that man was surrounded by Saudi authority, because he is somebody that, a very high profile person from Nigeria. So he told him that, go and call this person for me. Tell him that it is his malam that is calling him. And he said, like, can't you see how he's surrounded? He has a lot of entourage. You can't just even get to that place. Then he just told him that, just make sure you do this, that I'm going to stand up so he can recognize me. So he did that. And in the process, the man stood up, and the big man recognized that this is this is his malam. And he told him that, please just give me like 15 minutes. I'll be back. All right, I'll be back. So they waited for him. After that, he came, and they had a lot of conversation. He was so happy. He was so happy. He was so nice to him. And then the man told him that, where are you going to stay? He said, I don't even have any. Okay, where are you going? I'm going to Medina. All right. The man ordered some taxi for him. According to what he said, that these were very big cars. So they took him and his friend to Medina. Before leaving, he gave them huge amount of money for him. He said he was not going to disclose the amount of money to us, that is, we that are listening to him. He said he was not going to disclose the amount of money to him. But then he said he was given an amount of money to give the Bakanu, which means the money was given to him to give to his students. That was what the man assumed, actually. So, and he said he was going to disclose us to her, and that is $500 of that time, based on what he told us. But the man was saying that, I've never had that kind of money before. This is a huge amount of money. So this is what Allah has blessed you with. So you take it. So he gave them, he booked one of the most expensive, in fact, according to what he said, that the man booked the most expensive hotel for them in Medina at that time. So on arriving the hotel, so the man now asks, the Bakanu now asks that, are we going to be in the same room or different room? The man said, I don't know. Just like you're seeing everything, I don't know. So they were given two different rooms, two separate rooms. Now, all of those people, those high profile politicians and leaders from Kaduna State, were also supposed to be in that hotel. But unfortunately, the person that booked the hotel for them was not around at that time. So all of them were sitting in front of the hotel and just waiting to see what is going to happen, actually. So while waiting, they now saw this malam. So they were, according to him, they were all embarrassed up till today, that if some of them should see him, they used to, like, that they used to, just feeling that guilty, that why we didn't attend to you. Allah has given you a better provision. So the man came, and they now see that this man even had the biggest room, and his student, his Parsi, was given another room, a smaller room, but then also in the most expensive hotel in Medina at that time. So they both sat, they were both in the room, they took their bath, and after that, they now decided to go and pray in Masjid al-Medina, because he said that the first thing I want to do upon my arrival in Medina, after keeping my bag, is to go straight and greet our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he went there, and so while he was coming back, or where they were coming back, both of them, that is the madam and his student, not really his student actually, but they met. So those leaders from Kaduna State now saw him and said, sir, please, can you allow us, Malam Ya Sheikh, can you allow us to please use your room, take our bath and relax at least? I said, don't worry, come and take the key. So that was what happened. Now, what is the moral of this lesson? He wasn't just telling us a story for listening's sake, because we're talking about Jum'ah here. He wasn't telling us a story for listening's sake. He wanted us to understand something behind it. Now, this is one of the lessons I learned today, that your associate, the person you choose to relate with or to befriend, is actually very important in your life. There are friends that will benefit you both in this world, in this dunya, and in the next world, in akhirah. There are people, and there is a verse in the Quran that says, Al-akhillau yawma idin ba'duhum li ba'din aduwwun illa al-muttaqin. There are people in the day of judgment that will come and say, oh God, alhamdulillah, I'm granted paradise not because of my effort, but because of you. While there are people who will be blaming each other, maybe because friends who were into bad things and doing things that are unethical and forbidden in Islam, they'll be blaming each other on that very day that it was because of you. You were the one who made me to commit my zina, and you were the one who made me to commit this. You were the one who took me this. You were the one who made me to commit this kind of, sins and all of that. So they'll be blaming each other. On the other hand, there are people who will be hugging each other and loving each other because they will be telling each other that it was because of you that, that I started praying, that I started obeying Allah, and I started doing all of this. So this is the moral of the lesson, so of the story. Again, going back to Surah Al-Kahfi, you remember, you will understand as well that there are a group of people who were who we learned their story in the Quran, in Surah Al-Kahfi. And one of the most disgusting and irritating animal in Islam, we all know, is dog. But specifically today, because dog associated with these people, he was with these people, Allah mentioned that same dog. Now you can't even recite Quran chapter 18, Surah Al-Kahf, without even mentioning him. And that is where you see, وَكَلْبُهُمْ بَاسِطٌ ذِرَاعَيْهِ. So you can see. So associating with the right people at any given moment in time in our life is very important. There are business relationships, there are relationships that can lead to prosperity and success, whereas there are also relationships that can lead to failure, and probably even ending in prison. So it's very important for us to always rethink who we associate with, how we spend our time, and how, because there's this adage that says, show me your friend and I will show you who you are. So you can have smokers, drug addicts, you can have bad circle of friends and expect to be productive. If you want to be productive, obviously you will need to have friends that are productive. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you learned something today.